Prenatal screening sounds like an easy option to prevent incurable diseases in newborns and to identify high-risk pregnancies early, to be able to prepare for an optimal delivery. However, prenatal screening is accompanied by more ethical issues than you might expect.
For prenatal screening, there are currently two tests used in clinical practice. The combination test, which combines maternal blood measurements with the measure of nuchal translucency on a 13 weeks pregnancy ultrasound scan, and the NIPT test, which will be available for all pregnant women in Holland from the 1st of April.
The NIPT, non-invasive prenatal testing, is a relatively new offering on the landscape. Unlike invasive procedures like amniocentesis or chronic villus sampling, the NIPT carries no risk of miscarriage or harm to the unborn child.
The NIPT test screens for trisomy 21, 18 and 13. That is only 7% of all congenital anomalies. With the ultrasound in the combination test, you are often able to see more. Besides, the positive predictive value is 84%, so it's not 100% accurate, and you have to do an amniocentesis to confirm the diagnosis anyway.
What seemingly differentiates NIPT recently from other prenatal tests is the perceived conclusion, that is diagnostic in nature, providing conclusive results.
If you do not belong to the high-risk group, the NIPT and combination tests will not be covered by insurance, costing €175 and €168 respectively. This financial barrier might prevent some parents from getting either of these tests, creating a division in the quality of healthcare between families of higher and lower socioeconomic status.
What you need to keep in mind with prenatal diagnostics is that there's also an ethical aspect. So, for example, our law states that screening is only justified if there's a treatment for the disease you're screening for, but can you truly call abortion a treatment?
There are numerous reasons why couples decide not to take the NIPT. Some studies show that about 30% of people who decide not to take this test say that they would not terminate a pregnancy no matter what the outcome of this test, so there's no need to do the test.
Abortion is a controversial topic, even for what some of us would call a logical reason, like when the pregnancy is unplanned or if the mother's a teenager or a rape victim. Having an abortion because you don't want a child with, for example, Down syndrome is even more debatable. Is it acceptable to decide the future of another human being?
Other reasons include that a little under 30% does not want to make the test because they do not want to have to make a decision about terminating the pregnancy, as this will be too much of an emotional burden, and they feel that this should not be in their hands.
Over the last decade, the price of whole genome sequencing has dropped enormously. In 2008, the cost of sequencing the genome of one person was €100,000 and higher, while in 2014 the first next-gen sequencer was developed that was able to sequence genomes for €1,000. In practice, the cost lies around €1,500 on average now. If the cost continues to decline, which is to be expected, a whole new world of predictive and diagnostic medicine will open up. A world where many diseases, including the trisomies, can be accurately detected before birth.
So to NIPT or not to NIPT? That is the question. For the expectant mom, it ultimately depends on a number of factors: adequate genetic counseling, knowledge of the specific clinical issue at hand, as well as ethical and religious preferences.